Diane in Denmark here. Timer is running. Do not adjust your television sets. I am wearing a holiday jumper, a Christmas jumper, and in English we call it a jumper because otherwise the joke doesn't work. Do you know the joke? What do you get if you cross a kangaroo with a sheep? A big woolly jumper. So anyway, we are going to actually be talking about wool and sheep and stuff. This video, I mean, you can use it to fold laundry or tidy up your office, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working on something for Christmas. Now, I know you're all going to say, what? Too early. I've told you before, I'm going to be doing the cruising through the holidays, you know, the Flylady thing that starts next month. But this is a very early warning to those of you who have been saying, oh, you know, you remember, you've probably said it last year, oh yes, next year I'm going to knit all my gifts, or I'm going to crochet them, or I'm going to make, I don't know, cocoa mixes, or, you know, I'm going to make jam, and everybody's getting jam for Christmas. So I'm making a type of Danish Christmas snaps. It's not the type that you eat, that you use along with your herring. It's not that type of snaps. It's kind of a warming winter snaps, which has got orange in it and coffee beans. So I'm going to make that. I'm just going to get started. I've been talking for a minute and a half, and the idea was that I'm just going to get it done. If you want to go ahead, you know, I pulled out my Flylady's Cruising Through the Holiday folder. You can see there's tons of stuff in there. I pulled out my recipe, which I've actually written in French because it was for a French group. Gosh, 1999, I got this recipe from my dear Danish sister-in-law, so DDSIL. She gave me this recipe. If you want to make the recipe, great, I'll tell you what the ingredients are. It uses Danish snaps, you know, aquavit. The main thing is that you use something that is completely neutral. You don't want any kind of flavour to begin with, so don't go buying, you know, a snaps that has dill weed in it because you're just going to ruin the taste of the original snaps. This is one which is actually, you know, specially for making your own fruit snaps. Anyway, I'm going to do this one. I'll show you what it is. If you want to use this time, go and dig out your Cruising Through the Holidays folder, or maybe you want to go, you know, kind of brainstorm a bit. What is it that you need to start working on the holiday gifts? Maybe you need to go out on errand day and buy some yarn, you know, some wool. Perhaps you want to do some kind of crafts with your kids in the run up to Christmas. Get those down on your list. But I know you probably have made a Pinterest board with ideas of things I'm going to make. Now is the time. You've got to start thinking now, because before you know it, you know, we're in the month of September, but, you know, next month we'll be doing all the Christmas prep, and, you know, I don't know if you have Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, whatever it is you have. But, you know, we're going to be starting to buy things, stock up on baking ingredients, if that's what you do. So this is an early warning to you to get at least thinking about it. You don't need to make your snaps today. I'm making mine because actually the longer it sits, the better. But anyway, let me see. I've been talking for almost 4 minutes, so now I'm going to make it. So I've got my recipe here. And as I said, it's orange and coffee. And I've got my jar, and this orange is the biggest orange in the world. It's not going to fit in my jar, so I'm just going to cut it in half. There we go. Let me see if I push it back a bit. There we are. Maybe you can see a bit more. You know, I've told you before, this is, my channel is not meant to be, you know, it's not meant to be a cookery thing, but I'm getting ready. You know, so I figured, you know, if you want to join me, you can do that. Anyway, so I'm using an orange, and I can see here it says 30 to 40, what do you call those, cloves. Now, I am not a huge fan of cloves. In French, it's clou de girofle. I am not a big fan of cloves because when I smell cloves, that brings back very bad memories of having root canal work done at the dentist. Have you ever had root canal work done? Well, this was about 20 years ago, and I've still got that kind of, the smell of the stuff that I used at the dentist was awful. Hold on, I'm just going to take out a little thing for making a hole in the orange so I can get the cloves in. There we are. Now, my recipe that I got from my DDSIL, she said 30 to 40, but I'm not going to put anywhere near that. I don't mind a wee bit of cloves just to give that kind of Christmassy smell. It's already smelling Christmassy with the just the orange and the cloves here. All right. Okay, how many have I got there? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I've got 10 in that one, and I'll do 10 in the other half. Right, stab, stab, stab. It's like my scoosh, scoosh, scoosh when I do the windows. Right, a few more. And you know what, maybe you're not into this kind of thing. You can also make some fruit snaps, or I don't know, some kind of rum with plums, whatever you like. But this is one of these things that, you know, if I make it now, I feel like I've really achieved a lot, and then when it comes to the month of December, because I want this to be finished actually at the end of November, because that's when the Danes really start, you know, we have the whole month. Christmas is the whole month of December, and then it's going to be ready so I can serve a little glass of it with some of the homemade sweets that we made, some of the homemade candy. Right, I've got about 20 cloves in there, that will do. And I'm just going to pop it into my jar, my mason jar, or as they say in French, bocal à fermeture hermétique, as I can see as I've written in my recipe. I made it for a French ladies group that I used to be a member of back in 1999. Right, okay, so we've got that, and then to that we are adding some soft brown sugar, or cassonade if you're French, or in French-speaking Canada. So let me just measure that out, and then I can tell you, for all the Americans who have no idea, like grams and kilograms, what that is. Let me see, 100 grams, so that's 100 grams. There we are. I'm just eyeballing here, doesn't need to be exact, doesn't need to be perfect. There we are, okay, 100 grams. So that is, let me see, it's about 2/3 of a cup, 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar. I'm just going to pop that in, and then just get all that lovely sugar out. And then we are going to add, next thing, oh yeah, is a vanilla pod. Just one, there's 2 in here. Boom, boom. Bim, bada, boom. I'll just take one of those. Actually, when you take this out later, you can, you know, pop it into, if you've got a thing of sugar. Okay, I'm just, you know, slicing it down. I don't even need to take out the vanilla there. Okay, that can just go in. Cut it in half. Next is, oh yeah, the coffee beans. And we need 40 grams de café grain entier. So coffee beans, and I'll just measure them out and I'll see. That's 40 grams. Oh, hold on. Start again. Because I was trying to reset the scales and it's gone a bit weird. Okay. And then I put it into ounces for me. I don't want ounces, I want grams. Yay, okay, we're back to grams. I can't work in ounces. Seriously does my head in. Right, 40 grams of beans. 40. Right, and 40 grams of coffee beans, that's like half a cup. Now it's really beginning to smell good. I'll get all those in. How are we doing for time? Yay! Good. 10 minutes. So, let me see, we've got the orange, the cloves in there too. We've got soft brown sugar, coffee grains, and the vanilla pod. And the last thing is a bottle of snaps. Aquavit if you're living in Germany. And remember, just make sure it's a plain thing. If you can't get snaps, you know, just go for a cheap one, but it should be fairly strong, 40% volume. The other thing, you could of course use vodka if you've got, you know, just a plain vodka. Get all that in. Then I just need to check and see if there's deposit in the bottle. No, no deposit in the bottle, so that'll go out in the recycling. Actually, I'll strain it back in here, so no, I need to keep this one. It's been a while since I've made this. Right, and then we just get a lid on. Give that a little shake, and let me just have a little sniff. It's already smelling of Christmas. It's beginning to smell a lot like Christmas. Okay, and what you're going to do with that, if you want to make that, is you just leave it ideally for 6 or 7 weeks, you know, so we get the full thing. And just, you know, put it in a dark place. If you've got, you know, you can put it in the back of the garage or somewhere dark. And just occasionally, you know, what I normally do is when I'm doing my weekly home blessing on a Monday, I give it a shake, and it's the same with when I make my Christmas cake. I make my Christmas cake in the school, oh, there we are, in the school autumn term break. That's when I make my Christmas cake, and then it's a British Christmas cake, so it's very heavy on fruit, and then I feed it once a week, you know, with drambuie or some whiskey. And I remember to do that as part of my weekly home blessing. So you need little triggers to help you to remember these things. Or you could write it in your control journal. Right, so that's basically me done with that. Oh, and when you're ready to drink it, just filter it off and put it back in a bottle, or maybe you want to, you know, make your own label for it. You know, plenty of ideas on Pinterest. And something that's very important. Before you start on any of these Christmas holiday things, anything at all, make sure you're dressed to shoes. It doesn't need to be a holiday jumper, you know, a Christmas sweater, but make sure that you've got your kind of indoor shoes on and that you've done your routines. Your routines must always come first. If you need a hand with your routines, if your routines aren't working for you, I'll put the link up there because you can see my morning routine, my evening routine, and we did that thing together about 2 months ago where I talked to you being consistent with your routines for 7 days, and every day of that little challenge, I told you what to focus on with your routines. You know, it doesn't need to be exactly as it says on the Flylady website. You change it up, and maybe, you know, you just need to have 3 things on your routine which make the rest of your day happen. Anyway, I'm going to stop it there because I'm going to just clear up in the kitchen. I'm going to put this in a dark place until I do my weekly home blessing, and I shall see you very soon. So that was it all for me. Diane in Denmark, beautifully sunny today, but we are into the autumn season, and before we know it, we'll be cruising for Christmas. Hooray! Okay, see you very soon. Live long and prosper.